Hey everybody, this is Steve,
and this is
just say Parnell.
And
this is flipping and mashing.
Every time
you want to come up with something
I want to come up
funny.
with something fun, and
it just blinks.
It like
it just freezes.
I do blink.
We have a lot to talk about today.
Okay,
we're gonna crack.
No. You are getting way out of
I'm excited.
routine.
I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about today.
We are on episode 32.
Yes, we are.
We almost have a lot of episodes.
Oh my God, he's freezing up. He's just like, you need a defrag for a second.
Here's the problem: we haven't done we used to do every week, and now we're like once a month.
Yes. Well,
we did. This is our second one in January,
yeah.
but it'll probably release in February.
Way
to go, Steve.
Sometime in the next 6 months when it's not valuable anymore.
Yeah. Dude, I have not played pinball since Vegas.
Oh, really?
I've only been fixing.
Well, I have played some
We'll
pinball.
save that for the pinball segment.
Yeah, sounds good. No, you have played pinball. That's part of the story here that we're going to be talking about. Is you went down to Chris's place.
I forgot I went to Chris's house.
Yes, his incredibly huge pinball arcade.
That guy needs to buy more. I mean, why only have 26? You need to have more. We'll save that for the pinball segment. We need to get back on our routine track, and that means that we have to crack a drink.
Yes,
and it's like noon, so we haven't started drinking beer yet. But we have energy drinks.
We could. I mean, there's no one here. We could probably just start drinking beer. But let's just do energy drinks. All right, So what do you got in front of you?
This is a Red Bull, because that's what we had in the work fridge.
I gave you the option of having one of these cool new game fuels. Have you tried one of these yet?
Yeah, I had one. You gave me one, and then it hurt my throat because of my food allergies. So I'm assuming there's soy in there.
So this was the drink that I wanted to bring on last week. They have 4 different flavors, but Mountain Dew came out with a new gamer-inspired drink called Game Fuel. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, I've already had Game Fuel. This is a mismarketing
Yeah, Steve,
problem.
What does this mean?
Exactly. So Game Fuel was a flavor for a long time, for like almost a decade probably, that only shows up every now and then for like a new game release. They release Game
Is
Fuel.
that okay? So it's Mountain Dew.
Correct.
What was that flavor? Was it from Mountain Dew?
Yes. Mountain Dew made it. What it is it's Tahitian Treat. It's Tahitian Treat mixed with Mountain Dew. I figured out the correct mixture.
Oh, so you're at Taco Bell just freaking pushing buttons.
Well, no, Taco Bell doesn't have Tahitian Treat, you noob.
Oh.
But
yeah, I'm a Taco Bell noob. I'll admit it.
But the mixture is the majority is Mountain Dew, and then enough Tahitian Treat to change the color, and that's it. That's all it is. That is Game Fuel. But that would release with like big game releases like Halo 3 or Black Ops 3 stuff, or Black Ops 2, I guess, stuff like that. Well, now they made a brand new drink, or I guess series of drinks called Game Fuel, that are energy drinks that are a little bit smoother.
Well, they're not. I don't know if they're full energy. Well, yeah, they are. I was gonna say they're not energy, but they have enough caffeine. It's about 80 grams.
Yeah,
a serving.
I mean, I would consider them energy drinks. I mean, they market themselves.
Well, it is an energy drink because it's actually AMP.
Yeah, good point.
Which Mountain Dew makes, AMP, but now they've like consolidated it down to Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel. But like Mountain Dew AMP is small.
And I wonder if they shut down AMP in the process.
Well, probably wasn't selling that well.
I can't imagine it was. But it has a cool like grippy side, like for your thumbs.
No. But the coolest thing is the way you open the can.
Yeah.
And the way you can close the can.
Right. So it's a fancy top here.
The only part I hate,
it's gonna pop like a son of a bitch.
Is that it sprays kind of the mist like crazy.
Yeah. And if you...
I know you're wiping it all over my chair.
And if you shake it slightly, it compounds the energy significantly more than I've ever seen a pop can do it. So it wants to...
You do get excited, so you probably shake it by accident.
It wants to just blow up nonstop. But what is cool about it is, since I have a little 1-year-old who wants to drink everything that is not his, I can just close it, and he knocks it over. It doesn't spill. It's been tested several times.
Well, the funny thing is they even have a tutorial on the side of the can to show you how to open it.
Right. Well, it is a little confusing when you first look at it. Like, well, how do I even open this?
Yeah, if you were from 1801.
No, I mean, you look at it. It is slightly. I would consider it confusing.
Well, you were from 1801.
That's true.
You still pull up, but it's on the back, which is still the same as a standard pop tab.
Yeah.
But then it pulls up, then slides back. This plastic piece slides back, and then you can then slide it forward again and click it down in the back to then close it.
Yep.
It definitely costs a little more for them to make this, I think, but I think being able to close it is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm. It is not as carbonated as other drinks.
Oh, really? I guess I don't really remember.
Yeah, so it's a little more smooth.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's more like kind of...
It's like an aged whiskey?
like Mountain Dew is smooth. It's not real...
Are you kidding me? It's sugary.
How? It's not like 7-Up. Do you see what I'm saying? Like 7-Up's got tons of bubbles in it.
Like a lot of poppers in your mouth?
Yeah, like a lot of poppers. just popping your way down your throat. Anyways.
Yeah, it's not... Well, sparkling water, a lot of them are overly carbonated. So I usually shake them and then open them and kind of let it gas out. Or I just open them and let them sit for a while so that the bubbles can pop.
I do the same thing.
It's
I like
way
the
too
flavor
carbonated.
of like those sparkling waters, but I don't want all the bubbles.
It's too much poppers in my mouth. It almost hurts. It almost mega hurts.
I like their advertising here. It says it promotes alertness, accuracy, and it's vitamins A and B. So this accuracy...
I should say something like twin joystick mayhem.
Exactly. It takes control of your thumbs and lets you flip and mash that much faster. All right. Well, that is enough of Game Fuel and us talking about the energy drinks. Let's move on to...
Sorry, I keep having to go to my other computer and click next on... I bought the Munsters TV series bundle on Amazon, and I'm ripping them to files so I can put them on a USB stick and plug them into my DVD player.
Smart.
So that I never have to change discs. I love physical media, so I have to own like a music CD or a movie, but I rip them because I hate having to stick them in to the DVD. Like for this, it's 10 discs or more. So if I have to switch, if I have to switch discs while I want to watch the TV show, that's just irritating.
I hear you.
But every console, TV, and DVD player nowadays, you just rip them, plug them on a USB stick, and they all can just play it. So
right,
that's my plan. My wife, I found the Munsters channel on Roku.
Yeah,
and they have most of the episodes. So I always watch it, and she likes the show, but she's getting sick of me watching it every day. And I could watch it forever.
Really?
Yeah.
So you really like the show? I mean, I noticed that in the last episode you were talking about how you started watching it, but I thought you were almost watching it like to kind of catch up on like what the game was about.
Yeah, no,
the pinball game. Oh, you really like this show a lot. That's cool.
I watched it this morning before I came to work.
Oh. All right,
episode 32.
Let's get on.
This is the only reason why Steve wanted to record today, is he wants to talk about
Anthem. Anthem is a really big deal. It is coming out very shortly. Both demos have now dropped.
What do you mean both demos?
So they
you just mean there were like 2 demo sessions,
right? There are 2. Yeah, they had 2 demo sessions. They had a VIP demo session, and then,
that was invite, right?
Well,
somehow, because I got people saying, "Hey, I have some codes that you can borrow."
Right. I don't really know how it works because
maybe
to be honest, it was convoluted.
Oh.
A lot of people said you had to have bought in the game. I did not buy the game. I did not pre-order.
Did you
the game.
get an invite?
I downloaded it with ease. I just went to Xbox Live's
the first weekend
store. Yeah.
I wonder if it was like gold members.
No. Because
do you have an EA pass?
No. I don't have any of that stuff. Tell you what, it could have been gold members. It could have been that I signed up a long time ago for their newsletter or something like that.
But yeah, you could have signed up because everybody was pretty hyped up about it after the E3 thing.
Right.
So maybe you did get like allowed.
I'm not,
I don't know.
I'm not really entirely sure.
Who knows? It's been passed.
Exactly. I don't know what the VIP factor was. Either way, there was 2 demos. The first one that came out was an epic disaster, a holy crap shitfest. It just nobody could play the entire first day. And when I say nobody, I need to caveat that by saying some people got to play it, but no one that I personally know was able to play the game that whole first day, and a vast majority of them were not allowed to play the second day. Some of them did eventually get in the second evening, but a lot of them had already given up at that point.
So what about you? Were you able to play the second day?
I did play the second day, but I played late at night on the second day. I did not have a whole lot of issues. I had some issues, and the issues that I did have were enough to make me basically give the middle finger to BioWare and Anthem and be like, I'm done. There's no reason to even give a crap about this game anymore.
Whoa.
Because the issues that I was having is the load times were extreme.
So do you think they were as long as Destiny's? I know Destiny allows you to mess with your character, but were they that long?
Probably. But it would constantly freeze at 98% loading.
See, and like you said, if you're not, you kind of don't stare at the screen, so you're not paying attention. You're like waiting, and all of a sudden you look up.
Because I don't have time to. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
It's broken.
Right. I'm gonna look at something else, or look on my phone and waiting for this thing to pop up, and then like a bunch of time goes by. I'm like, what the? Why hasn't this thing loaded? And then you look up, and it's been frozen at 98 or 95%. So I had that happen 3 times. 2 times in a row, 1 time, a couple games before that, and then that was enough to make me just throw up my hands and be like, I'm done. I don't got time for this anymore. Because you have to quit out entirely out of the game. So I had to quit out of the game 3 times.
So you go back to the Xbox menu.
Correct. Quit out, shut down the whole entire game.
How long does it take to get back into the game? Because even, games have to boot up.
It's an average amount of time to get booted up into a game. I don't really know time slot wise how much that is, but it's an average amount of time to get into the actual game itself. But I'll take it back to get into like the hub of the game.
Sure.
That was the first
catastrophe
of the first demo. The second demo that finally released, they basically told everybody, calm down, we can fix this. Everything
calm down.
Yeah, everything that you're dealing with is because of 6-week-old code. You're playing with the demo that has been, created 6 weeks ago, and people were pointing out the marketplace looks god awful. Like you're gonna charge $20 per skin. Are you mad? Are you out of your mind? Are you a stupid person? Are you a stupid person? Is that what's happening right now?
I don't know, man. People
you're gonna charge
love
$20 for a skin for a game that cost $60. So you are gonna pay 1/3 of the price of a full functioning game for one colored skin to go on your armor. That's insane. Anyways, but again, they're like, all that stuff is from 6 weeks ago, blah, blah, blah. Don't pay any attention to any of that stuff. And it's like, well, then here's the deal. A demo's a demo. A beta's a beta. We know the difference. You know the difference. Don't pretend that they're the same thing. Don't pretend it. Don't pretend it. You're two extremely well-established companies. BioWare and Electronic Arts, EA. You know the difference in between a demo and a beta. And for you to pretend that, this is a beta. We said that this was a beta. No, you didn't. You never once said that this was a beta. Even now, you're not even saying that this is a beta. What you're saying is, this is a stress test, blah, blah, blah. Stress tests are betas. We know what betas are. You send people in to test your stuff. It's a beta test. It's an alpha test. You put out a demo, a demonstration of what your game is, and it was janky as fuck. Anyways, not just janky as fuck, but also like your marketplace and all the different stuff. Like, if you didn't want us to see that, don't let us see it. It's that easy, guys. You presented a half-assed product and said, well, here's our demonstration of our product.
And then that's what bugs me on a company that's that big, because like when Nintendo did their stress test on Splatoon 2 and ARMS, they called it that. They called it a test.
Right.
It was a test fire,
right,
or a test shoot punch out or whatever. And so they're testing their servers, and there's a ton of problems. Don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't have a ton of disconnects in Splatoon 2's test, but there were problems. But when they tell you it is a test, it's easier to... People bitch. People will always bitch.
Right, but you can mentally handle it because you understand.
But it's easy. It's like, it's a test.
Yeah.
Once the game launches, there were a few little bugs, but I never ran into them ever again.
Right.
I mean... There was the people that would glitch out, just like in Halo and any other game that have bad lag. But
right, and I might be getting caught up on the fact that they so openly called this a demo.
Yeah, you're pretty fired up on this,
right? Because if it's going to look like this, and this is a demonstration of your game, you failed.
Yeah, if they're calling this like this is the demo,
Right.
But that was on them for being bad, because
Correct.
demos usually come out either like, here's a demo before the game launches so you can get excited, or
Right.
comes out with the game so you can play the demo before you buy it.
Correct.
But-
Because that's what a demo is.
Yeah.
We all, as gamers, and you, as a game producer, you know what a demo is. You know what a demo is.
And then, unless they called it pre-production demo, but they didn't.
No.
And I know this was like just for the weekend, you can play this game.
Yep.
Don't call it a demo.
No. Just, in the future,
Or even call it a test.
take your head out of your ass and call it a beta. You're using it as a beta. So call it a beta. Anyways, but that's me being maybe caught up on semantics. That was the first weekend. The second weekend that I played it, I had some issues, but it played a lot smoother. I didn't have one heavy load time again where it gets caught at 95%.
So those load bugs.
Yeah, whatever that was, at least for me, I'm not saying that for everybody else. For me, I never experienced that again the second weekend. So they were able to dial in on that
Oh, that's awesome.
and fix that.
Because at least you can get into the game.
Yeah, which was
That's
a big
step one.
deal. Right. That is step one, to be able to get into the game, to be able to play it. So I got into the game. I played a lot more the second weekend. I think it feels like a good game, to be honest. And I know we've spent probably, 10 minutes already bitching about this game. The gameplay itself is good. The game itself is good. You fly around in these amazing armored, not mechs, but it's just armor. It's just like Iron Man armor, for instance. That's probably the best way to describe it. Or war, what is it called?
War Machine?
War Machine. War Machine. That's it. That's probably the best way to describe it. Because they have all of these weapons all over them. And yeah, Iron Man does, but for most of the part, he's got like lasers. Whereas these guys have got rockets and all this different stuff. And that's like War Machine to the tilt for sure.
So I still haven't played it.
Yeah.
My Xbox is packed up from the basement remodel.
Uh-huh.
And we have one at work, and we're busy at work, and I'd rather fix pinball. But I'm excited. I want to play it, but I have no problem waiting.
Right. Well, and that's what I would suggest to anyone.
When's it come out again? It's this month, right? End of the
It
month?
comes out very shortly. It comes out probably like in a week or so. No, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks probably.
Yeah, don't release it on February 14th. There'd be a lot of upset spouses.
Yeah.
Significant others.
For
just
sure. They won't do that. But anyways, it's a very entertaining game. It reminds me a lot of Destiny. Or
Did you say it's the loot shooting or whatever?
Yeah, the looter shooters.
So it's just like Destiny.
In that way, it's just like Destiny. You go over, you kill enemies, they drop loot, and just like in Destiny or The Division, or which Division 2 is coming out here shortly.
Oh, seriously?
Yep. What's another one? Oh, just like you were.
I had said it's like Diablo, where you do
Right.
like
It's all the
you
kind of same thing.
play a little mission, and then there's a big bad guy at the end.
Right.
That gives the big loot, but everything else is just small loot.
Right. And it being a looter shooter means that you are looting and you're shooting all these things instead of just like in Diablo, it's a top down, totally different game entirely. Right. But in the looting aspect is still exactly the same. I don't know anything about the story. That is going to be the biggest deal to me because I think that they're going to have these bugs fixed out. So I got kicked out of the game. So the second week on I played, I never had that 95% thing, but I did get kicked out of a game. I was in the middle of a game, got kicked out all the way back to the Xbox main hub, which was very irritating. But it only happened one time. They're definitely dialing in and fixing issues. So if they can advance as quickly as they did from 1 week ago to this week, I believe in a couple weeks when the game actually releases, they'll be able to get it to an actually properly functioning ability. At the same time, I would suggest anyone who wants to buy this game, just wait a month. Just wait a month. Let it drop. Let everyone scream at them. They'll fix the issues, and then you can buy it after. Don't get it right away. Don't pre-order games in the first place.
So what about Battlefront 2? When did Battlefront 2 come out versus when it was fixed?
When it was finally the way it's functioning now, probably like a year.
Yeah, I was going to say it dropped November 17th, 2017.
Yeah, the game, honestly,
Are people still playing it?
People are still playing it.
It's just not big.
The problem is now, it's like when you boil off a bunch of water or like something, all you have is like a condensed super squads or whatever.
So there's just really good people now.
Only good
so
people.
You just get wrecked.
The people who love this game from day one or whatever are still playing it, and they have all of the best armor, all of the best guns, all of the best setups, and they have dialed in their game. So any new players trying to get into that game are just going to get their face shot off immediately.
It's the hard part I had when I got back into Splatoon 2 for a Splatfest. I was like, oh my god!
Oh, I know.
I got wrecked.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you can just get used to being shot a bunch of times, you can kind of just slowly wade into the game. You're going to get shot a lot. It's going to happen. But at the same time, they have the game fixed now, which is wonderful. It would have been wonderful
It just
if it
took
had
a
been
little
fixed
too long.
a year ago. Yeah.
So, maybe Anthem will be faster. I mean, they fix... I mean, I think they know that...
They're both still EA games.
Oh, that's right.
So
well, they should have learned from Battlefront, and then they should have learned from these pre-demos.
Yeah. I don't know what the issue was with Battlefield. Do you know what the issue was with that?
I don't keep up on games like that, so I don't know.
Okay. The next really big, huge game came out of nowhere.
Oh, God.
So, yeah...
So
kind of crazy because everyone was all amped up about Anthem and Anthem's 2 demos that came out and Anthem coming out in 2 weeks or whatever. So everyone's hyped. This is going to be the biggest game of the year. All this different stuff. Like, this is the thing that's happening. And then sneaking in to cut them at the ankles is Apex Legends. Just drops. No one even knows it exists. No one even knows that it exists.
I still do not like the name.
It's kind of weird. Well, if
No. If it was its own game... Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
But it's
a spin-off of Titanfall.
It's a Titanfall. Yeah, it's in the Titanfall umbrella, which has a really good name and base of people behind them. Mm-hmm. But then they call it like Apex Legends.
They call it Apex Legends. So there's different factions in Titanfall, and one of the factions is Apex. So they made a battle royale game. So the company that makes Titanfall made Respawn is their name. They made a battle royale game that it's really good. I've played it. It's completely free, which is wonderful. The only thing that the only way that they make money is if you buy cool armor and stuff like that, or not necessarily armor, but like skins and stuff like that. I think they might eventually come out with maybe different cooler armors or whatever. But as far as I can tell, it's just like skins to go over the top, like to make them like all blue or something like that.
Yeah, I mean but
you can still
in reality that's how it should be, right?
Yeah,
it's free to play.
Yeah,
not every game, but like you do a free to play game, but the stuff that you can purchase with real money shouldn't make you a better player. It should just change the look.
Correct.
So that no one has an advantage with money.
Right. Make you look cool, maybe add a fancy dance or something like that whenever you kill somebody.
Non-game changing things.
Exactly. Something that you want, but not something that you need.
Yeah, because then people don't feel unfair and you can still play for free. So you keep your big player base. It's pretty much how Fortnite's been doing it.
Right.
They've been crushing it.
And that's what this game is dropping in and going up directly against is Fortnite itself. And it is very different than Fortnite, which is good for it.
Yeah, because I'm not a fan of Fortnite. But I don't
Right.
I don't like playing like that.
And we probably have listeners that are big fans of Fortnite, so I don't want to besmirch it at all.
Oh, it's just not,
it is a good game.
Too much going on for me.
Right.
Way too much.
I'm not into the building. I like the shooting aspect a lot. I like the battle royale aspect a lot. I like the look of Fortnite. I like a lot of things of Fortnite. But when it comes to the actual building, which is...
It gets it's too complicated for me. I played on the Switch. I was like, oh my god, I got destroyed. I could play it if it was only shooting. But I don't want to play PUBG.
Right.
So.
And they have another game that dropped out similar to that. That's made by the guys who... It's another free-to-play game.
Warframe?
No. It's made by the guys who make Paladins. It looks just like Paladins. You get to ride on horses, so that's one of its gimmicks, is that you get to ride on horses to get to fast travel to different places. It is only shooting. It's very cartoony.
Realm Royale?
Yeah, that's it. Realm Royale.
Oh my god, that same maker made Tribes Ascent. Oh, Tribes is a good game.
I've never played that game.
It's a good old PC game.
Okay. But that game, it's really fun. I really enjoyed it. I played with my brother the other weekend ago, and I had a blast playing that game. So the game that we're talking about right now is Realm Royale. That's another completely free game that is, again, in the Battle Royale type of game where you drop into an island and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right, because it looked like Paladins, but you're on an island. And it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember you told me about it.
Yeah.
We probably talked about it like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a fun game, and I might go back to it. But now with the drop of Apex, Apex is a full-fledged super game that happens to be free.
Super game?
Well, it's like a AAA title is what I'm trying to say. Like, you look at one of the original Titanfalls or like a Call of Duty or something like that, and then you have Apex, which is on tier with that. It's not like one of the other two games like Fortnite or now Fortnite technically should be considered a AAA game because it has a story mode and stuff like that, but no one ever on the planet plays the story mode.
Nowadays, I don't hear people talking about it anymore.
No, when it first released,
Yeah,
that's all anyone knew about was, oh, there's some like zombies and stuff, right? But no one since its release has played that story mode. Anyways, Apex Legends is...
Oh, dude, it's not for Switch.
It's not for Switch, which is a massive bummer.
Bummer town, I can't play it. Never will. Sorry.
It's
I don't think my basement will ever get finished, so my Xbox will never come out of its box
So it'll
until
never
the Xbox 6 comes out, and then there'll be like Apex Legends 6.
Yeah. But this game has some very distinct differences from it compared to those other two games.
Quick questions.
Go ahead.
Is it the same? Is it like Fortnite where it's the same island every time you play,
Yes.
but then you pick different drops?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, mind you, this island is huge. Now, not to say that Fortnite's island isn't huge, because Fortnite's island is very large, but this island
This does look
seems
pretty big.
extreme. Like, it is enormous.
I'm on the main website, and they have a picture of the island. There's like, looks like almost a nuclear reactor part. It's almost like a big island with cities where there's kind of a cityscape, and then there's mountainous area, then there's kind of a desert area. So there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Does it do the same thing where it shrinks, so you have to keep
Yep.
getting closer?
Yep.
Okay.
Because you have to have that, otherwise...
No one will find each other.
Right.
No, your
one will
games
find
will
each
last
other,
forever.
and you might just be a dick who just hides the
Ugh.
whole entire time. Whereas here you have to keep moving. You have to keep getting closer to the enemy, no matter what. So it keeps pushing people closer and closer, not necessarily to the center, but to the center of a ring, wherever the game determines for it to be.
So it does change where that is. Oh, that's neat.
Because otherwise everyone would just go to that spot.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Good
just wait
point.
for everyone to come to
And then
them.
the loot boxes or whatever that are on the map, right? They have those.
Yes.
Dude, are they different too all the time? Like they random?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, one thing that... Now, you know where to find it.
Sure.
The reason why you know where to find it in this game is because they hide them in buildings. They hide them maybe on a roof or stuff like that. And they have some very, very specific places where you can know you're going to find awesome stuff. They have a roving... So, I played it last night for quite a long time, and I had a blast playing it. So you drop in from some ship that's really high, and you have a jetpack on. It's not like your gliders that you have in the other games.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot more control with your character. And you also... You have like a jump master, I think they call him.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should probably explain how this is, how this plays, and maybe even more than just how it's different from Fortnite.
Sure.
Because if no one's played Fortnite, then
Right. So, in this game, the game starts, you are in a dropship.
but
You have a 3-person squad.
okay, there you go. Yeah.
To even start this, you have to pick a legend, a hero, okay? So there's 8 heroes or legends. In this game, they call them legends. Very similar to Overwatch, every player in the game is a hero and has powers and special abilities and they can only be picked by one person. So if somebody picks your favorite character, you have to have some backup favorite characters. So you have to kind of learn different heroes instead of just having one specific person. So I'm only going to play with that guy.
Your squad is 3 people.
Your squad is 3 people.
But you have 8 to pick from.
8 to pick from.
Okay, so they're
2 to unlock, 6 that are always unlocked.
Okay.
I haven't unlocked the other 2 yet.
Do you know how to unlock them?
Yeah, I think you just earn it just through XP and stuff like that. Yeah, that's all. I haven't played the game enough to unlock it. Simple as that. Anyways, they have some really cool, neat characters. You know, some have like invisibility superpower, or like another one has she can drop down weapons and ammo and all this different stuff, which is a huge deal for your team.
Well, and you can explain that.
Right. So anyways, let's get to the actual game. You picked your hero. He has some very cool abilities that you like a lot. Let's get into the game. So you got your 3-man squad. The dropship's flying over the island, and then you have a launch or a jump master, which is one of you 3. It just kind of randomly picks whoever it is, and they control your squad. You can manually break off from them, but I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I want to be with my squad when we land. Otherwise, it's going to be you versus the entire island. Anyways, in the other games like Fortnite and stuff like that, you have to kind of time your jump, which isn't that difficult. If someone says, all right, we're jumping now, you have to kind of just jump with them. Whereas here, you don't have to worry about that. If the jump master jumps, all you have to do is just wait till you land. Now, you can be looking around and tell them, hey, there's shit over there. I want to go over there. You can mark with your right bumper, which is your RB bumper. You can mark out everything like, hey, I suggest we drop over here. I suggest we go over here. There are some high, what do you want to call them? Some high-profile spots to land. There's like another floating ship that flies around on the island below you when you come out of this drop ship, and I always want to go for that ship. Most of the people I jump with never want to go for that ship because that ship is loaded with all of the best guns, all of the best armor. So a lot of people all want to go there because if you go there, you can just you either win big or you lose immediately because everyone's going there and you land, you start grabbing guns as fast as possible. What I like to do is not get in combat with people on there. Just land, grab a big gun, and jump. Because this doesn't
jump in the water?
There's no fall damage in this game, so you can just plummet, and it's fun. It's fun to just plummet. So I when you first launch, you have a jetpack on, but if you're jumping off of a cliff or jumping off of something like that, you just plummet. You don't glide or anything like that. So I like to just land, grab a goodie, whether it be one of my favorite machine guns or just some heavy armor or anything. Because if you're up there for half a second, you're going to get your face shot off. So I like to land, grab something, and jump off. The worst thing you can do,
Please tell us, Steve,
is when you have a jump master who's so stupid and thinks that we should land below the ship. Why would we do that? So what you're saying is, instead of going for the goodies on the ship, we should go underneath the ship. That way when everyone who has all the goodies on the ship jumps off of it, they'll land right next to us. Are you out of your mind? So there was one guy, like Coy and I were in a squad with somebody else, and he's heading right for the ship. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to land on the ship. And he starts diving below the ship. I'm like, drop now. Bail on this guy. This guy's committing suicide. Get out of here. Because if he's going to land below that ship with nothing, just his fisticuffs, he's going to start trying to punch people. And they all got like heavy machine guns and stuff like that. He's insane. So Coy and I bailed on him. I don't know what he did.
Well, who is this? The random?
He was just a random guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was Coy and I and just some rando. We land and we start running off our own ways. Now, buildings all over the place. Check all the buildings because there's lots of stuff in there. Kind of like, okay, PUBG is another battle royale. This is a good way to describe it. It's like PUBG mixed with Overwatch. So you got the heroes of Overwatch and all their cool abilities. And then you have the mentality of PUBG, which is you just scrounge, you got nothing. You're landing with your fists. Find anything. Get armor, get helmets, get guns, get everything you can. Now, a big deal in this game, which I did not realize the first match, is bullets are the currency of this game. You have to be very, very careful with how you spend your bullets. You land in here, and you pick up a gun, and then you shoot it like you shoot in any other shooter. You'll be out of bullets within seconds, and then you'll have a useless paperweight in your hands.
Can you use it as a weapon, like melee?
You can still punch people, yeah. Or you can, hit people with it. Or I don't think you even hit people with it. I think you just run, and if you try to hit, melee, you just punch them with your fist.
Oh.
But you have to be very careful with your bullets. If you got 5 bullets in that gun, you better make them count. If you have 30 bullets in your gun, you got a decent amount. You probably got more than the other guy, to be honest. There was one map where I was fully loaded because we had killed off some guys right away, and it took us a long time to find the next group. Because again, these maps are, I'm telling you, these maps are huge.
So how many people are in the?
I think there's 66 people, which is kind of a weird number, but I think it's 66 people are on the map. Now, usually it's 100. For games like
for
Fortnite.
Royale,
yeah. I don't know if they did that specifically to differentiate themselves or to make the map seem bigger. Oh yeah, so there's one time we were loaded up with guns and ammo, and because we had just cut off a couple smaller teams, and then we were just hunting for more enemies, and as we were doing it, we just kept gathering more and more and more ammo and more armor. So we were loaded to the tilt. We were ready to go. But then the ring kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So, of course, all you have left is the better and better players. So we got right in the middle of the ring, and the ring got pretty small, and we got slaughtered. Even with all of our awesome guns, even with all of our heavy armor, they ran through us like we weren't even standing there.
Are you sure, that it wasn't just you were bad? Was it just
no, we were bad.
Snuck up on you, or what?
I think it was a combo of both. They snuck up on us because we were getting shot from behind, so they had the drop on us. Okay, so they already have the advantage. But I was in the open a little bit because I was moving from one cover to a different one, and they saw me. So when they started opening fire on me, the most I could do is try to turn and shoot at them. But even then, I didn't have much time. I turned basically to watch them kill me. I didn't have
that wasn't
much
smart.
of an advantage.
Why didn't you just build a ramp and a wall and hide behind it?
This isn't Fortnite, sucker. Oh, one thing that's really fun about this game is how you kind of run around. Sliding is a big deal in this.
They don't have the wall jumping, but they have sliding.
They have the sliding. So that is a big deal if you are a Titanfall fanatic like I was. Sliding and wall running, and obviously the Titans, are a big deal in the game. There's no Titans in the game. There's no wall running, which is an extreme thing to say. The creators of Titanfall are not going to have wall running in it. It seems mind blowing, but whatever. Because that was their stick. We have huge Titans and we have wall running. You should play this game. And it's wow, this game's amazing. Anyways, they took both those out because I think they were saying it kind of broke the game when you added wall running, or it doesn't really work very well because this is such an open space, not a big tall city.
Yeah, at first it blew me away that they would take out some of the big things, but then at the same time you're like,
I don't know
it's
if
a different style of game.
Yeah,
and so
I don't
you
know if I would
definitely
use it as much as I would think I would use it.
Especially when you're out in the desert or the mountains.
Right.
Really? What are you going to wall run on?
Exactly. You wouldn't really use it that much. At the same time, I wish they would add it, because then it would make it that much more Titanfall-ish. Anyways, it's not in it currently. Maybe with enough people begging for it, they'll add it. But with the sliding ability, just the sprinting and sliding, it's a very fast-paced game still. Not as fast as Titanfall, because Titanfall had the other element of, running and jumping from wall to wall. And whenever you jump, your little jump pack would give you a little boost, so it was that much faster. People would just fly around the map. because you just go from one jump to a slide to something else, and then people knew how to just combo them to just never stop moving and just have this very fast, very fluid movement. I had it down a couple times, but I never played it enough in a long streak enough to be
You're probably on Destiny
amazing.
too much.
Yeah, that was the problem. Is I kept switching back between Destiny and Titanfall, so I never became like a jump artist like that. Whereas another one of our friend Josh, he actually was very, very fluid and very good at jumping around the maps like that. Anyways, with this game, you can still get some of that stuff. Like I slide constantly. If you slide by somebody and start firing at them, they don't know what to do. At least yet, because this game's new, and because people aren't used to it. They see you running at them, and they go to shoot at you, and then you drop to the ground and start sliding, and you still start popping shots at them. So far, it's been very effective for me.
So
That's my go-to right now.
It's
I
just
see 'em,
slide.
drop and slide, and start popping at them. It's worked for me. Also, of course, what works is just straight up shooting at them. Like there was a couple guys who were just scared and didn't know what to do. Being scared in this game is not going to win. You have to be aggressive. Be fast and aggressive. Your fast movement is going to get you out of the way of the bullets, and they're not going to be able to keep up with you.
And they're not just going to spray and pray.
Because they can't.
Yeah,
they don't have
'cause
enough bullets to
then
spray
they'll be
and pray.
out.
They have to be careful.
I mean, maybe you want them to, though.
That's what was working for me as well. Just as long as you keep moving fast and just jumping up and down and sliding and all this different stuff, it's scary to try to shoot at you because you don't want to waste the bullets to shoot at somebody like that. Anyways, with me talking this long on it, obviously I like the game quite a bit. It's 100% free. It is worth the download. At most, if you don't like it, you can delete it, and it didn't cost you anything.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try it. I'd have to play it at work or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have a...
Or finish my basement.
Yeah, we have a machine here, theoretically, so we got to figure out how to get it hooked up, because right now we don't have a working controller here. I could just bring in one of mine, I guess. Anyways, that has got to finally wrap up our video game section, unless you have more video game stuff to add.
No, I've kind of been staying out. I haven't even touched my Switch since CES, and it's beginning of February, so
About a month. I have been playing the Switch quite a bit, but it's mainly been my son who's been playing it, because I've been playing a lot of Mario with him, but that's that.
So Yoshi was an added thing to that, Baby Yoshi.
I didn't know that. See, I've only played it since it's been on the Switch.
Yeah, but you've used him?
I've used them all the time.
Oh.
Baby Yoshi is the jam.
I saw a Nintendo tweet that said, "Hey, this is new to the Switch version," and I hashtag. No, how does it work? I tagged you or something.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it?
You just take.
And you're like, "Yep, been there, done that." And I was like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, that's our jam. Is we love the Baby Yoshis, because there's a couple different Baby Yoshis that are out there. The pink ones. If you get them and bring them with you, so what you do is they're in like a little side little. I don't know when you want to call them, like a mushroom or something like that. Because you go to different stages. In between stages are like these little cutoffs, rest stops, if you will.
Is it kind of like the SNES one where you go back to Yoshi's house and you can get them every time?
Yes and no.
Okay.
They are always appearing there, but they're not always there. They're time released.
Oh.
So you got to be careful and actually let them survive. So you can take them with you to different stages, but you just have to keep them alive. And Easton isn't very good at keeping them alive, so I keep mine alive. But then
he's like, "Hey, can I have yours?"
Yeah, exactly. Because he'll drop his off a cliff. It's like, well, you're on your own now, sucker.
So what do they do? Like you said, there's colors,
right? So the pink ones, they balloon up. They suck in air.
Oh, that's the one, and then it spins.
Yeah. And then you can just float around, and you can pretty much float across the entire map and not have to worry about crap. So there are different enemies that are in the air, so you have to kind of worry about that. Or if stuff's shooting up at you, you got to be worried about that. But if a level is too hard, your get out of jail free card is, all right, let's go get those pink Yoshis. So you run back, get your air balloon Yoshis, run back over there. Just keep them alive. They don't hold breath the entire time. So you have to like every breath goes up and down, and then eventually it wears out. So you just got to land
and then jump back up.
Yep, jump back up, float across a whole bunch of enemies. If you see some big bad guys, just float right over them. Just float over everything, and just keep cruising.
So they're kind of like Bandit, but they help out all the other players.
Bandit. You see the guy
that purple bunny.
Yeah,
with the little treasure bag.
Yeah, I guess
that can't die.
I didn't realize that was his name. That's obviously
Nabbit.
Also
My
Nabbit.
bad.
Yeah,
his
there we
name
go.
is Nabbit.
Yeah, so Nabbit is Easton's favorite character for obvious reasons, because he can't get hurt by someone trying to hurt him. He can still die by falling in lava or falling off a cliff or stuff like that. So jump puzzles are still difficult, or can be difficult. But it's he can just blast through people.
When he gets older, do you think he'll listen to this and then get mad at you that you made fun of him, that he's not good at video games? When he's 4 years old?
He's 4 years old. He's fine.
Just gotta talk crap about our kids.
Yes. But I use them. I use Easton and I use Nabbit a lot. So like if I'm in trouble, I just send in Nabbit. Easton, go in and take out all those bad guys, because he just goes in there and wastes them all. It's like, all right, and then I just run through with these. So we've been burning through this game pretty good.
Jesus, I mean, I guess. Yeah.
And then the other Yoshis, like there's some like levels that have really dark maps, so all you can see is like a ring around your own little character.
Yeah, those are hard.
Those are really hard. Well, if you get some of these little light up Yoshis, like little glow in the dark Yoshis, I think you just spin with them, and then they create like a halo of light. So then you just keep doing that every now and then, and it just because the light goes out and then it kind of slowly creeps back in. Mm-hmm. You just keep doing that every now and then, you can see your map pretty good. So they're little like cheater.
Okay, so here's the thing:
cheater toys, but they're fun.
Here's the hard part: you've never played the Wii U one.
No,
but here's the topic I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
People get so pissed that Nintendo keeps re-releasing a bunch of Wii U games, and they say it's the same game. Why is it $60?
Well, to me,
but they're not the same game.
Well, yeah. Well, there's that.
Look how much extra stuff was added to this game.
Yep.
Donkey Kong had same thing. They had Crazy Kong or Funky Kong was added.
They got some kind of funky mode for this one as well.
A bunch of stuff gets added, like Mario Kart. They took all the DLC and put it in this one game, added Splatoon, or maybe that was on the Wii U one. But
those original games, do they have touchscreen ability?
On the gamepad.
Okay. Because one thing I noticed about first-party Switch games, a lot of them have the touchpad ability to like go through like the menu and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
which I think is pretty cool. But go ahead.
And the thing, all these people complain, but Nintendo wouldn't do it if they didn't think they'd make money.
Oh,
but at the same time, the Wii U didn't sell a bunch, so
yes.
They're hitting a whole new market, and the Switch has a bajillion purchasers.
Right. I mean, it's literally like I think basically comparing like 200,000 to like 4 million or whatever it is. I'm making up numbers right now, but if you only sold 200,000, Wii U's, so you made all these awesome games that you spent a lot of time on that people love, that are A+ games, but only 200,000 people played them. Well, now you've sold a machine that has 4 million users. Yeah, we'll re-release those games, and those people have never even seen that game before.
When everybody complaining, it's like, no, it's not a copy paste. Programmers have to go in and do all these mods and make sure things work. It's like, this isn't cheap or easy to just re-release a game. Mm-hmm. They put a little work into it, and so I get irritated. I skip all those, like, usually it's on Reddit, I guess, in the Switch thread and stuff. I just stopped even remotely going, because it's like, it's the same in the pinball world. People are really good at complaining about things that have no idea what it's like to make software or produce hardware. Sure. And they just are really good at complaining and thinking that it's easy.
Right.
It's like, please try to release a product. Go make an iPhone app and let me know how that works out for you.
Right.
But I'm loving the re-releases. I don't buy them all. Like, I think I didn't buy Treasure Tracker, but I wanted to, because the Switch one now is 2-player, where the first one wasn't. They added some other features and stuff.
There's some other Wii U games that I really want them to re-release that I don't think will ever happen, but I wish they would. Like, for instance, like the Star Fox games. They would have to make it in a certain way because that has almost too much functionality to it.
Where it has too much dual screen.
Right.
And they could re-release it.
They just have to do it in a certain way to single screen it.
Which I don't think would be that bad if you had like a change view button.
Which
that
is
was a quick.
I think what most users would want anyways, because that was the biggest complaint about that game, was that it was too complicated. It was really good, but it was confusing to people because it was just so overly complicated having to use 2 screens instead of just one. So if they could boil it down to just one screen, I think it would reach a larger audience. Well, by de facto, by being on a Switch, it's going to reach a larger audience. But by also being on one screen, I think it could hit a larger audience because it's easier for people to understand.
Yeah, and this is where we always go back to Nintendo/Sony. I always want to kind of force the player into the way that they want them to play it.
Sure.
So when Star Fox on the Wii U came out, they forced you into using your Wii U pad and the TV.
Well, it's because they came up with some really cool technology, so they wanted to make it as neat as possible. The problem is it was complicated.
A very clunky learning process. Yeah. Once you learn, like the review we watched, once you learn it, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
But when I was playing the tutorial, it took me 3 or 4 tries to get through it because it was really cumbersome.
Sure. And that was just the tutorial. You're saying it took you a couple tries to get through the tutorial?
Yes. Yeah, dude, it was rough.
Another game I want them to release from the Wii U over to the Switch is my son watches a lot of Sonic on YouTube right now, and he was watching some gameplay, and it was the Sonic Boom series that they got apparently 2 games that have come out for the Wii U, and I was watching one of them, and I thought that game looks really cool because it's not just the like Sonic Adventures where you're always moving, running around, going forward. They had kind of a platformy aspect to it, so it was more like a Crash Bandicoot or something mixed in with it. So that looked very interesting to me, and I kind of wanted to play that, but I don't have a Wii U. Not that I can't get a cheap Wii U nowadays, but I'd rather have it all on one system. That'd be...
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way to go buy it. If it comes out for the Switch, I'll buy it.
Which game is that?
There's 2 Sonic Booms, so I don't know which one it is.
Oh, and Color. Sonic Color was also one.
Right. Well, there was one that I was watching for... I'm not sure which Sonic Boom it was, but it was one of those ones, and I kind of wanted that.
Oh, I forgot. There's a couple new games coming out that I am kind of excited for.
Oh, what's that?
Crash Bandicoot Team Racing is coming.
And this is for the Switch or for everything?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was coming out for everything.
Gotcha.
But I'm not too sure.
But you're specifically thinking about the Switch.
Yeah, because I don't care.
No, I hear you.
And then Spyro the Dragon.
That's also coming out for Nintendo?
I think it was coming. I think they were dropping it to everything. I think maybe PlayStation had a early...
Sure.
Extended release.
It would make sense if it had an early release.
So yeah, I don't know. There's a handful of titles I'm excited for. I definitely want to get my Xbox back out because the Tomb Raider game is continually having content pushed to it. The new Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to be a giant Tomb Raider fan.
The new one?
Yeah.
He's having content pushed out?
Yes.
Really? I did not know that.
And if you remember, the arcade had DLC as well.
That's right.
We need to get back down there. I want to shoot some bears.
Do you think they've updated it, though?
They all run on cell connection, so I'm assuming.
Okay. Either way, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
All right, so that will now finally wrap up our video game section. Pinball. You have some very big pinball moves.
I got Popeye Saves the Planet.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No, that's not,
Just
that's not
kidding.
What happened. You now have 0 unworking... Oh, that's not true.
Don't talk big about me. I always have broken games.
Okay, fine. But your 2 main ones, the ones that were the biggest deal...
The ones I bought, not really broken, but they were kind of like hacked together. Well, Black Knight didn't work.
Yeah, Black Knight didn't work, and you couldn't play Baywatch either.
Well, Baywatch had a flipper problem. So on Black Knight, I added Black Knight. I added the rectifier board and a fuse board so that if any coils get held on, they're protected by fuses now instead of blowing the board and whatever's on that. They'll blow a fuse because you have those magna saves and stuff. I was talking to the guy who designed. His name is Peter. He designed the rectifier boards, and he said if you hold the flippers and hold the magnets all at the same time, the game draws way too much power and you'll blow stuff.
Oh.
So he goes. Cause I had told him I thanked him for making it so I could put because I felt safer with those installed on route.
Sure.
And he said that and he goes, well, hopefully no one does that and keeps them held because that's a lot of power that it's drawing at one time.
Sure.
So we'll see how that game holds up. I'm a little worried about when on Black Knight the magnets they snag the ball. You could actually grab the ball from inches away and it'll come ripping up, and then it kind of wobbles and circles.
It sucks it a couple inches away.
So it sucks to the magnet under the playfield, and it just kind of like wiggles on that green circle
because it's holding it. Yeah, I got you.
Because it holds it for like 5 seconds. So that it stops.
As long as you're holding it, the magnet.
No, it just, you hit the button and it grabs it.
Ah.
And it wiggles around and then it stops. And so it holds it for long enough so that when it lets go, the ball has stopped wiggling.
Sure.
So then it drops down your inlane to your flipper.
Perfect.
But the hard part is if you have that happen so many times that the ball is just going to keep grinding away the paint. And so you'll go from a green circle that says MagnaSave to wood.
Because the magnet is underneath the playfield. So you rub it on the playfield the whole time. Gotcha.
So what I'm thinking is I'll do like a little Mylar circle.
Okay.
I posted the question to Pinside in the Black Knight thread, and I think someone had said something about the same thing where they put this little, it's about a 1-inch circle.
Okay.
Just put it in the middle. So the main wiggle of the ball is really over Mylar.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a big deal. The whole thing, I think, was I bought the game thinking I'd do with the hard top where you sand the entire playfield, level everything, so it's down to the wood.
Sure. Then
the hard top is a few mil thick with the ink is printed on the underside, so it sticks down to the playfield. And then that clear, it's not plastic, it's more like polycarbonate, is then almost like a clear coat on top.
Sure.
It looks mint. Plays a little quick, but it looks mint. It's only $300 versus like $1,000 for the 2 playfields.
Sure.
Brand new playfields.
Okay.
So
I'm following you.
It's a cheaper way to kind of get a brand new playfield. But that was like a couple years out. I was thinking, have it earn some money on route, bring it home.
And then do that.
Because I ordered new plastics for it as well. CPR, Classic Playfield Reproductions, did a sale, I think around Christmas. And so I bought plastics for Black Knight.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of new stuff for it. I just don't want to like put it on until it's done.
Until it's done route. Getting beat up on the route.
Just like Baywatch, yeah. So Black Knight, what do I have left? I have a new spring for the shooter rod coming in the mail today. And I'll put that. It's so powerful. You plunge. If you pull even halfway back, that sucker flies up and screams past your upper playfield right down to the middle. It just drains right away.
So you need it to be actually slow down.
Oh, yeah. It needs to be a lot softer.
Gotcha.
I think that's it. I think once that spring's done, I do need one nut above the lock on the top playfield to hold the plastic down because that kicker just rips the ball through. But otherwise, it's done. I'm pretty sure.
It looks sharp. It sounds sharp.
It looks good. Oh, I was telling you before. I don't know how to like the menu system from the coin door. I have no idea what's going on. I had to look at the manual because I wanted to set it to free play while it's here. Then put it to maybe quarter play when it goes on route.
Right.
And I have not looked at the setting info, so it is cryptic as hell to me when you start going in the coin door modes or settings.
Okay.
But Baywatch has come a long way.
It looks gorgeous. It really does. The colors on it look cool.
We went and picked it up. We podcasted that.
That's true.
The guy we got it from was super nice. He had just went through it, cleaned it, put new rubbers, and LED'd a lot of the game. So the game was like good, ready to go. But we never played it. I brought it home and then ripped the boards out.
We played it when we very first got it. And then ever since then, the flipper's been broken on it.
Yeah, that flipper was all messed up, and we kind of had thought it was the flipper board, but it turned out it was actually the flipper switch stack. Because when I powered it up, well, that's another story, but when I powered it up and started playing, it did the same thing. And so I dug into... I thought, it can't be a flipper board. Everything was redone.
Right, everything's brand new.
So I started digging into the flipper switch stack, and sure enough, it was real dirty and kind of misadjusted. So I cleaned them up, kind of adjusted them again. Like I had to tweak the switch distance from the contacts, and it's playing a lot better now.
Well, great.
The game was hacked. Like when they brought it back from Germany, it was a re-import. So they make it in Chicago, ship it to Germany, so it's set for 220 volt. Comes back to the U.S. and if you read the manual, it tells you how to repin the connector. So you'd literally pop a connection out, put it in a different hole, plug it in.
But instead,
they just took like scissors and just chopped the harness and wire nutted crap. Then the 5-volt line failed on the power supply board, which is a common thing for those big DMDs, I guess. So they put a secondary, like an arcade power supply, tapped off the 120 volt at the transformer, which with the wire nuts.
Okay.
And then had an extension cord running from that second power supply up into the head.
Inside the box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they cut a bunch of those cords, wire nutted the 5-volt and the ground together cut all those other grounds. Oh my goodness. It worked. Don't get me wrong. It worked, but it's heartbreaking to me to have a game hacked like that when it can be fixed. So now that I had time, I spent the last week working on Baywatch. So I repinned the harness at the transformer. I repinned the 2 connectors at the power supply board that were cut. And I also had to remake the harness from the power supply down to the DMD controller board that does 5-volt and ground.
Because you wanted to make it semi-original. You wanted it to be the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Because if you sell it and it's all hacked up, that's just another excuse to, 1, take money off, and 2, troubleshooting is way difficult.
Right.
If you can't correctly go pin by pin.
Sure.
It's just a group of wire nuts. Like, that's 6 wires right there. Like, how are you going to troubleshoot that?
Right.
So, I redid all those connectors, repinned a bunch of connectors, which, Chris made fun of me because I was ordering the specific plug. Instead, he's like, just buy the 20 pin and then trim it down to what you need and stop dicking around. It's like, but then I have to buy all this other stuff. But it took me a week because I had to wait for parts, but I got it repinned. And then I was freaked out to turn it on. I thought it was going to blow up. And I joked to you about it, and then you know that. I actually ended up making one of my coworkers turn the game on.
Oh, you did?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The game booted up.
Good.
It worked. I was really sketched out that I would think there'd be at least one problem with the game on boot.
Sure. But it wasn't. It runs smooth.
Well, I guess there was the flipper thing, but yeah, I mean, the game works. It works great. I mean, everything's repinned correctly. You can see my posts on the forum. I was just kind of freaking out, like, all right, guys, can you guys take pictures? I took pictures and was like, can you guys verify this goes here and that goes there? And the schematics were pretty good, but they weren't good for one plug on the DMD board. So I think someone did clarify for me, and I pulled the trigger and just did it.
It's playing the game. It's a ton of fun. There's just so many cool ramps. There's just
ramps
covered in ramps.
everywhere.
It's like an amusement park. There's so many ramps.
And then ramps go onto each other and back, like loop back. The skill shot alone, there's 3 skill shots. But you were making a comment where you hit start and the ball jumps up into the shooter lane, but it's not the shooter lane. It's a ramp.
Right.
And you like that it goes. It's almost like Batman Forever, where you hit the launch button and it sweeps across the playfield.
Yeah.
To the opposite corner. Then it sweeps the other way.
It's very unique. It's very cool.
One of the skill shots is the pop bumpers. One is the shark flipper, and one is this life ramp or life preserver ramp or whatever.
Right.
But it's all that same shot, and then a gate just opens as needed. I don't know. It's wild. Hasselhoff does a bunch of the voice work. It's pretty cool that they were able to get that. What else is left? Oh, I have a shaker motor.
This is to go into Baywatch here.
Yeah, I got a shaker motor that was custom made by a guy on the forum. He was selling them. They were a little expensive, but he was selling them, and this was the last one. He was like, this is the last one. I'm not making anymore. So I said, F it.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. Shakers are... Me and Chris have talked about this. Shaker motors add value to a game. Because if you play a game with a shaker, like if you go play a bunch of my games with shakers, they feel normal now.
Right.
When you go to someone's place or en route that doesn't have shakers, it feels weird now.
Well, it's like playing a video game controller without rumblers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just played Medieval Madness and I forgot like all the shaking. It's normal now. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It adds a depth to the gameplay that you just don't expect, and then you start taking for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to get that installed. And what else? I have a couple of those protectors. They're called Cliffies. They're little like thin steel protectors that this guy bends and makes custom for every game. And the only problem is I have to literally take apart the entire playfield on the top to get to where those two scoops are. And I'm assuming it'll take me part of a day.
Right.
But if this is going to go at en route at a bar, like you kind of want to protect those scoops because it's going to get hundreds of plays.
Right.
It's not in my house anymore where it gets, 20 a month.
Right.
Was that it for Baywatch? I got that one ROM. I got a ROM. There's a guy at pinballcoding.com. I forgot.
Right, that has the updates.
Yeah, he handmade the game. He fixed some scoring bugs and some modes and balanced the game out a little bit. And so I got that ROM on the board now. I posted that picture to Twitter. It says like a special version or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I have left for that. The diverter gate that does like is at the top that would, when you pick your different skill shots, closes or opens, I think is acting funny. So I need to check to make sure that the coil that's running that is secured. I'm assuming that that's just kind of wonky.
Okay.
Because if I pick a different skill shot where the ball should continue going past, it feels like the gate's not open, so it bounces back. So I'm wondering if it's just not, a wire could be falling off or something. Or it's one of the hacks that's up in the head. I just gotta trace back from that gate coil back to the head where the board is.
Makes sense.
Because all the boards are refurbed, so it shouldn't be that.
Right.
Joker Poker, that needs to get looked at. I haven't even touched it. Did we talk about your dragon?
No, but there's nothing has happened with Dragon. I haven't had the opportunity to figure out what, or try to troubleshoot what the actual issue is, why it's not functioning.
Yeah, so you
we
switched
replaced
it.
everything. It should be ready to go. Cleaned it all up.
So,
go ahead.
well, the context is it played at the guy's house. We brought it here to the office. It played.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that we needed to take the stock battery off and do some technical service bulletins, like some grounding mods and stuff, because it's a Gottlieb System 1, and they weren't done. I looked, they're not done. It looks like that literally was made and put in someone's house. It's in really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of things we got to do, but it worked. And I had brought you a bag of LEDs that I didn't use. They were like Comet, Sunlight, or something. They were decent LEDs, and you had put them in, and then the game powered on. The displays all are 0, but then nothing else happens.
Right.
And so we just need to go through and kind of poke and prod with a multimeter and do the grounding mods and just make sure that something didn't freak out.
Right.
I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode.
I think so too. So I tell you what, just a reminder, we have lots of gaming news always going through on our Facebook page. All you have to do is search for Flippin' and Mashing, and you'll be able to find all the news that we're scrounging from the internet and pulling on there, as well as content that we're putting up there from our machines or us going to an event, like when we went to CES, and we post up those videos of the monsters and stuff like that. That's all going to be on our Facebook page. You can find our other like Twitter, like our personal Twitter accounts from Podbean. Just go and search for Flippin' and Mashin' on Podbean, and then we have all of our links to anything available right there on our Podbean page.
What else? We should post our little tech work more often.
We should because we do the work and then we don't take pictures. Or
We just talk
behind
about
the
it,
scenes.
like, yeah.
Exactly.
People would probably be interested in that. To tell us what we're doing wrong.
Exactly. You guys are idiots.
It's the rock screwdriver. You're supposed to use a hammer to fix that.
All right, that's it for this episode. You guys have an excellent week.
Enjoy the snowstorm.